ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय, भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय, शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय, स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी प्रबुदानंद भगवान की जय, स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय, माता पिता की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय, सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायणं वासुदेवाय, श्री कृष्णाय गोविंदाय गोपालाय। ओम श्रीमद् भागवत गीता chapter 4 we have seen verse number 7 yada yada hi dharmasya ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानं धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। Hey Arjuna, whenever there is decline in the right living and an increase in wrong living, I bring myself into being, assume physical body. This is what we have seen in last class. In continuation to this, Bhagavan says, I come into being to protect those who are committed to dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashachaya dushkritam dharma संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे। For the protection of those who are committed to dharma and the destruction, conversion of those who follow adharma, and for establishment of dharma, I come into being in every yuga. Every time when there is fall in dharma and rise of adharma, an avatara take place. Why does an avatara come? It is not to enjoy punya and papa of his previous karma. Like as we do, we come to enjoy our punyas and papas. But Ishvara takes birth because of certain reasons. Because papa and punya doesn't apply to avatara, nor does an avatara come to suffer the life of sansari. An avatara comes for a threefold purpose. First, he protects the people who are committed to a life of dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam. This is the first reason. If they are protected, then dharma is protected. That is why it is said to protect sadhu. The protection is carried out in many ways, one of which is chastise, chastising those who do not do things that are not keeping with dharma. Vinasha, vinashaya dushkritam. Vinashaya means for the sake of destruction of those who follow adharma. Here the word destruction is more in sense of conversion of those who follow adharma to the path of dharma. Destruction never not means to kill. Those who are following adharma should follow dharma. That is the word meaning of destruction. Not destruction of a person, but a destruction of adharma in him, or let us say destruction of ajnana. This is the second reason for the Avatara to come. In either case, his real task is to establish, or perhaps more appropriately, to re-establish dharma. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. This is the third but real reason for advent of an Avatara. The reason for an Avatara to come. Protection of dharma implies protection of culture and religion. How can the order dharma be re-established? By making people live in accordance with it. This is all that can be done. There is no other way of establishing dharma. Because it is not properly understood, people establish institution of dharma, huge organization, large building, and so on. But even if you create a building for dharma that is bigger than the largest building on earth, those who do not follow dharma will destroy the very building itself and make sure that all efforts to restore it are also destroyed. Religious organization begin with an intention of establishing dharma, but eventually many of them become adharmic. Institutions do not establish dharma. There is no institution which establishes dharma. People do. People like you and me establish dharma if we follow the right path. The path of dharma, we establish dharma. How? Only by living a life of dharma can dharma be established and protected. How can dharma be protected in any other way? To understand this better, let us look at a scholarship and how it is protected. Can protecting libraries protect scholarship? Libraries are protected only when there are scholars to use them. They are meant for scholars. Libraries, by protecting libraries, we cannot protect scholars. Libraries are meant for scholars. Only when scholars are encouraged is scholarship protected. Only when we encourage dharma, we ask our offsprings, children, to follow dharma, dharma will be protected. Scholars can be encouraged by creating an atmosphere conducive for scholarship. Then there is an infrastructure of value for scholarship. For instance, if a teacher are the lowest paid people in the society, as they frequently are, there will naturally be attracted to other vocations. Why should a professor who earns $30,000 a year stay at a university when he or she can make twice as much elsewhere and even more on the side? California, Silicon Valley has attracted many university professors this way. If incomes in universities are comparable, those who value for study and teaching would stay in the universities. But this does not happen when the gap in earning is too large. It is true that people who have real love for study and the leisure to do so will stay, but it must well be recognized that many of those who remain may be doing so for little more than the extended holidays that academic year permits. When the atmosphere encourages scholars, everyone will become a scholar, or at least make an attempt, and scholarship will be protected. To create brilliant students, you don't require huge buildings, air-conditioned schools, air-conditioned colleges. You need the right teacher, a well-paid right teachers who will give correct knowledge, who will give true knowledge. If teachers are not paid properly, from where will IAS officers come? If IAS officers are paid more than the teacher, then teacher will try to become IAS officers. Why should they become teacher and create more IAS officers? Teachers are the most important part of the society. If we want dharma to remain, teachers are the only people who can protect dharma, who can protect the learning, who can keep on cultivating the desire for knowledge. Teachers should be appreciated by paying better than IAS officers. When good teachers will come, only then will come the good students. And from good students will come the good citizens, the good IAS officers, the good businessmen, the learned people, the scholars, the learned politicians. When there will be good teachers should be appreciated. They should get a right pay. I suppose pay more than what IAS officers are getting, because IAS officer doesn't create a teacher creates an IAS officer. It is very, very, I say, a very worst situation in the country where teachers are deprived of their right value. They are not paid properly. Anybody and everybody is becoming a teacher without knowledge. And right people don't want to become teacher, because teacher is an unpaying job. It has become a thankless job. It should be highly paid, highly thankful. Teachers are not respected in today's society. That is why we are going to have a very bad society after 10 years. Maybe we will have a big schools, big universities, air conditioned, all with all finest facilities, but bad teachers. If today we don't work for teachers, we don't start cultivating teachers, the right teachers, dharma cannot be established. Right teacher will bring right students. with right thoughts in their mind. Right thinking people will develop a right society, a dharmic society. Similarly, dharma is protected when there is an infrastructure conducive to following it, meaning that dharmis who follow dharma are protected. If students are given right knowledge, only then dharma will be protected. Dharma is not only a Hindu religion word, it is for everybody. Right, to do right is dharma. In this bad times of COVID, when schools are difficult to start, it is well advised to the parents to give moral education to their children. It is the right time to tell them about their dharma, the right dharma. It is the best time for parents to cultivate values in children. Don't give your children mobile whole day. They are playing with the mobile. In between, give them the dose of values, right values. Give them some teaching about their religion. If Hindu, then give them what Hindus are meant for. What is Shastra meant for? Other religions should also. I am not against any religion or anything. The only thing is, this is the right time when the schools are closed. Let the children get right values, their traditional values, the values their forefathers had. Those values will only continue, and they will give it and to their children. Otherwise, the knowledge of Shastras will disappear if we don't give it. 90%, more than 90% students, children today don't go through Gita or Ramayana or any other text, Shastra text. No teaching is going on. Nobody gives them the teaching of Shastras. The Vedic Shastras. If you don't give your children, how will they give it to theirs? How many of you have it? And how many of you have given it to your children? This is the right time, the opportunity to protect dharma. To protect dharma, nothing else can be done. The protection of dharma comes through various forms, through music and other performing arts, through the fine arts and various other human expressions. Therefore, you encourage only those institutions, meaning customs, culture and so on, they are rooted in dharma. Cultural institutions have a bearing on dharma and therefore are to be supported. All of these become the means of protecting dharma. Teach them music, the Indian music, the Shastriya Sangeet, Shastriya Nritya, the Indian dances, beautiful classical dances. They will all perish if you don't support them today. So will perish the Shastras if you don't support them today. Please teach your children Shastras. Give them this beautiful culture. This is the opportunity when children are at home. There is no school, there is no burden. I say, with this, if this is going to continue, then let there be no classes for 1 year. Let all children have a 1 year holiday to learn this, to know Shastras, to know their culture, to know their country, to know the beautiful culture of this country. Let them continue this. This is why this pandemic has come. Sansthapanarthaya Dharma Sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. It is only when people who follow Dharma are not protected that you find everything goes punk. Not just the music, because all aspects of living are so intricately connected. Dharma just goes in if people who follow are not protected, or the people who will follow, our children are going to follow Dharma. If they are not given this Dharma, this education, then how will Dharma be protected? There is no culture and religion apart from people. All religions are for people, from people. All cultures are of people, from people. If there are no people to follow them, no people to understand them, then how will this continue? How will the culture continue? How will the religion continue? Therefore, protection of Dharma implies the protection of culture, religion, and so on. But there is no culture or religion apart from people. The people alone are religion. No institution is independent of people, especially those institutions connected to Dharma. And if within a given structure there are those who do not want is not to be done and do not do what is to be done, such people have to be taught about religion. They have to be brought back. This is the time when people who are forgetting to follow their own religion, to bring them back to Shastras. People are forgetting Shastras. Truly tell, how many of you have read Ramayana? Very few. Not shocked. I am not surprised. I knew it. Because nowadays, when people go to Rishikesh, Haridwar, they go for picnic, not for knowledge, not to know about their culture, Shastras. How many people go to Varanasi, Pushkar, or other great religious places? Most of the places they go for enjoyment. Without understanding the word enjoyment, looking enjoyment from something outside. There was a time in Rishikesh when only sadhus lived there. They spent all their time studying Shastras. When other disenchanted with the world, they too began studying. A man may have decided to become a sadhu because he had lost his wife, his business, or whatever. The choice of becoming a sadhu has always been available in Indian society. And although this man had become a sadhu, he might not have been interested in studying. But finding that everyone else was studying, he too would begin to study. If everybody starts studying, if everybody starts educating their children, the children will get educated. Today the reverse happens all too often. A sadhu may go to Rishikesh and those he meet may not be studying. If he starts doing so, whatever everyone else is doing, he can end up running a ashram or studying a veena. There is nothing wrong with the learning of music. Music can be used as a kind of sadhana. Sometimes it can create devotion. But one should not become a sannyasi to do this. To become a sannyasi and then learn music is not right. But this is what is happening. Earlier people used to go to Rishikesh to learn Shastras. Now they go for enjoyment. They go Rishikesh for river rafting. Even the sadhus have started river rafting courses. What a tragedy. Please understand. The richness of this Shastra. This Shastra is not a joke, not an indisciplined way of studying. It is highly disciplined study. It takes time and it is absolutely scientific. It is above all sciences. Other sannyasis learn a few yogasanas and then go to America and open an ashram. Being able to stand on their head for 5 minutes, it is not great accomplishment. There is a sadhu in Rishikesh who stands on his head for 2 hours on a rock. What happens to him by performing this asana is not clear, except for the fact that he gets very hungry and eats an enormous number of rotis. This is not to say that asanas are useless. They definitely have a purpose. But the point being made here is that we have heads and we do not use them for the purpose they are intended. Is it time for Ishvara to come again? Should Ishvara come here? Someone may well ask, is it time for Lord to come again in the form of incarnation? No, the time is not right, because this teaching still attracts people. If, however, a teacher of Gita who's being constantly stoned and people were being prevented from coming to the classes, then Krishna as Ishvara would come. But as long as people are still able to listen to classes on Gita, he need not come. Still Gita is going on. It is Ishwar Kripa. Ishwar doesn't need to come. Abhi, he is not required. He can easily stay at his place peacefully till people are able to study Gita, people are able to teach Gita or other Shastras. Gita is not saying Gita is not meant only Gita, is studying entire Shastras. Still, we have the values for Shastras. If in a place of 100 people, 80 people are given to life of adharma, the other 20 cannot follow dharma, they can only pray. only then does Ishvara comes. Abhi 80 people are able to study Gita, only 20 are adharmis. And out of them also, some people will move toward dharma after this. Dharma only needs to be protected when the adharma is on rampant. When there is no law and order whatsoever, when there are no ethics, when no one cares about oneself, anyone else, when anyone is totally selfish, everyone is totally selfish. Under such circumstances, everyone goes over the convenient. Everyone goes for the convenient and does not bother about following dharma properly. Only when there is rank selfishness, adharma does the protection of dharma because becomes a necessity. When more dharmi people who follow dharma are created, the dushkrata, the people who do wrong deeds, change and adharma is destroyed. Whenever an avatara comes, people are changed. Their minds are purified. They do change. They give up their life of adharma. What is meant, this is what is meant by destruction of adharma. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Destruction doesn't mean killing. Destruction doesn't mean by destroying people. It is meant by purifying people, by making them understand the difference between dharma and adharma. And please understand, dharma is right knowledge, dharma is jnana, and adharma is avidya, the error. When more people like today are not aware of their fullness, the value of their culture, the value of study, the value of vidya, at that time their minds are purified and they are taught with the values of jnana, the values of shastra. This is meant by vinashachaya dushkritam. To create right atmosphere for shastra, for people to understand the right knowledge. The adharmis themselves do not have to be destroyed. Only adharma has to be given up and dharma to be reestablished. When less people are tend towards shastra, at that time the people who are not looking into shastras have to be brought back to the shastras, have to be brought back to the right understanding, have to be brought back to Brahma Vidya. Therefore Krishna says, in every age I am born. Sambhavami yuge yuge. It is not to suggest that there is a rule whereby one incarnation occurs in every yuga. The only rule here is that whenever dharma declines and adharma increases, whenever adharma is rampant everywhere, even when there is no way that dharma can survive, only then Ishvara assumes a particular form with the purpose of upholding dharma. This form is called an avatara. Here dharma means right knowledge, correction of error. and adharma means avidya, not trying to understand the oneself. Here adharma means only running after the pleasures outside you, oneself, and not looking at the pleasure by recognizing oneself. The ananda of recognizing oneself as whole. Searching pleasures in the outside world. Searching for pleasures, fulfilling desires from the objects of outside world. Whereas dharma means searching into oneself, looking at oneself as whole. Sat Chit Ananda, Sachidananda Swarupa. Oneself is, looking into oneself is the Ananda. This is dharma. Adharma is running after endless desires, not without understanding, running after them, running after money, running after women, running after wealth, running after all other leisurely items. No, this is adharma. Dharma is looking into oneself, looking into oneself, understanding oneself as whole. I am the whole. Understanding this is dharma. I hope you are understanding, and you will utilize this time, this difficult time, in understanding yourself. Instead of understanding the outside world, let us understand our own self by being at home. While being at home, instead of only being at home, let us be with ourselves and let us understand ourselves. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om.